Hello. Today I wanted to have a little bit of a talk about the age of Aquarius. Everything I'm about to talk about in this video is mostly my own opinions, and I'll provide some evidence and thought process as to why I think and feel this way. So I've talked about the precession of the equinoxes before in previous videos, but just for a brief rehash, the precession of the equinox is based around what stars are rising with the sun at the spring equinox. And this changes over a period of time. Each age takes about 2,100 years. So in that time, the sun, with the star background behind it, is slowly shifting along the equatorial belt. So Aquarius is an air sign, but it's called the water bearer, and its mythology goes back to the story of Ganymede and how he was favored by the gods, basically, and taken to the heavens by Zeus and became a cupbearer of the gods. Now, traditionally, Aquarius was ruled by Saturn, which you can see up in this little corner here. Whereas in modern astrology, they've placed Uranus, as you can see here, that symbol, as its ruler. Both planets are important, and they both have their own particular impact. So Uranus wasn't even discovered until 1781, and as the more modern astrologers began to find new planets and celestial objects, they decided that they needed a place to go to. So when they discovered Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, they allocated them to their own signs as well. Aquarius is the home of the two big sky daddies, Uranus or Uranus, and his son Saturn or Kronos. So Kronos overthrew Uranus. He basically slayed him and overtook his throne. Hence why they both have this rulership. It makes sense, right? But since these mythologies go right back to ancient Greece and Rome, one has to wonder if they always knew about Uranus, the planet. However, as such, the ancient astrologers considered that Saturn was its ruler. Since Saturn is the last planet that is visible to the naked eye in the sky, the ancients considered it to be the last that anyone or anything could reach. Therefore, it was at the boundaries of what was possible. So Saturn provides limitations and restrictions, and sometimes they can show up as blockages. But often limitations and restrictions are essential for creating form. And the blockages that one may encounter through having such limitations or restrictions can assist us in obtaining mastery. When we apply that into our lives, it becomes discipline. But since Aquarius is a communal sign and relates to society as a whole, Saturn's influence here actually creates structure and form of society. It's the way that we create the foundations and the building blocks, such as the communities, such as government spaces, and anything that is of literal concrete form. Since Saturn is also associated with death and karma, Saturn's energy can provide some pretty heavy-handed implications, such as the death penalty, for example, since karma is all about cause and effect. Saturn, in accordance with the ancients, was considered the planet that influenced and affected science. If you combined the idea of energetic karma, cause and effect, with the idea of mastery through discipline, then you can see how the co-mixing of different energies and their reactions can create a scientific basis, especially when you're using engineering skills and physics, for example. I mean, you need to have a good understanding of physics in order to be able to build a rocket ship. and discipline, might I add. And since it has a heavy focus and self-mastery, it also implies alchemizing. Now Uranus, on the other hand, is almost a complete flip of that. Uranus ushers in the rebel, the one that thinks outside of the box, the independent, altruistic go-getter, the nonconformist, the one who doesn't stick by the rules, the one who breaks the chains. Uranus is a planet of shocking, unexpected events. It's where things happen suddenly, like electricity, and just like the Sky Daddy who brings thunder and lightning in his storms. It's also the genius and brings ingenuity through that unorthodoxy, because it's not limited by preconceived notions. It wants to explore beyond the box. And through this, you have your rebellions, those who don't wish to stay and remain confined to preconceived societal constructs. So it's my belief that in the age of Aquarius, there will be two divisions of humanity. And we can see this already beginning to unfold. You'll have the people who are heavily ingrained within the societal constructs and the societal systems that are heavily involved in sciences and technology. Whereas on the other hand, you're going to have the more rebellious side of society who are more focused on spiritual concepts and developing their own inner knowing and their own deeper wisdom and connection to the world around them through their higher selves and their spiritual growth. This will be an age of knowing and sovereignty, but also at the same time of deep technocratic systems that are self-evaluating and self-aware. In saying that, I don't think that we are entirely in the age of Aquarius just yet. We're still purging out a lot of the age of Pisces stuff at the moment, all the age of deception stuff. It's still lingering. And not to say that that isn't being worked on, but it is still heavily present. So, with the consideration of all the information I've just laid out, it's my opinion that we won't fully be acclimatized into the age of Aquarius until 2079. You see, on the 23rd of December in 2079, Uranus moves into Aquarius shortly following Saturn. So at this period of time, you're going to have both of the planetary rulers in the sign of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, dominating. And what's interesting, also on this particular day, we have a new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn. The planet Pluto, the great transformer, is in the sign of Aries, the sign that initiates and begins and starts everything. The ascendant sign is Cancer, which is another sign of initiation and start. And its ruler, the moon, being in its opposing sign in Capricorn, is also a cardinal sign, another initiatory starting sign. But Pluto, being in conjunction with the North Node in Aries, is quite significant because it's showing that there's this deep transformative change that is being moved into. It's a whole new beginning, a whole new start, as is what also new moons indicate. Beginning of new cycles, things starting, things beginning to grow. And also, not only is Uranus and Saturn in conjunction, but Jupiter is there too. So shortly following those two ingressing into Aquarius, Jupiter is going to follow, and there'll be a Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. So I don't know if you guys recall, but in the beginning of 2020, there was a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which was a major energetic shift that instigated a lot of the events that followed. Massive societal changes that were a result of confinement and restrictions and blockages and control. and also the implications of influencing and affecting and changing law, which is what I think society and humanity will most likely be beginning to experience in this particular time. The Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius in 2020 was in essence a minor precursor, with the following on with Pluto going through Aquarius now, which will bring in massive upheavals and changes to the current societal structures. Anyways, thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, big thumbs up to you. Love your work, and let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.